Welcome to my inspirational webinar on the UK Global Talent Visa. I'm going to give you a quick rundown of what we're going to talk about today. I'll talk about what is the Global Talent Visa. Hopefully you will have done some research, but I'll do a brief intro about that, some of the application and guidelines and the process. I'll talk about the new guidelines that came into effect on the 1st of December. Then I'll introduce Yanting Zuo, and then you can have a Q&A with Yanting after I've interviewed her. So just briefly about myself, my name is Michelle. I'm Australian Vietnamese. I'm the founder and CEO of Made with Glove. It's a wearable tech company designing heated gloves. And in 2016, I received my endorsement for exceptional talent. And then I became the Technation Visa Ambassador because back then, I know it wasn't long ago, not many people knew about this visa. And I was one of the top 50 that received it. So they needed ambassadors to sort of, tell their story about how they got it, why they applied for it. And I met so many amazing people and helped loads of people with their endorsements. The great thing about this visa is you can apply for indefinite leave to remain and then go on and get your British citizenship if you want to. So it is a great route to settlement, whereas a lot of other visas, and I was on an entrepreneur's visa that didn't give me a route to settlement. So this was perfect for me. I was living in the UK for 7 years, based myself in Manchester and Newcastle. And I also travelled a lot down to London because, London is a great city. I went there for events. I held lots of meetings there and obviously socialised down in London as well. But the great thing about these three tech ecosystems is everyone is really friendly. If you immerse yourself in the tech ecosystem, you get what you put in. So I got a lot out of it because I put in a lot of my time and I was, very active in the tech community. Before I quit my job to become a tech entrepreneur, I was an Australian solicitor. So I did that for about 7-8 years before I quit my job. So this all started in helping people was when I started writing a blog about my experience. I became the ambassador and then I started helping people. So yeah, this blog went viral and I've helped over 250 tech entrepreneurs, senior execs and tech employees over, 5 years. My success rate is 80%. My clients have received successful results within 3 to 24 hours. I mean, that's a massive achievement, especially during COVID last year. So that was really great. And I think, the main reason is because we structure it in a way so that the assessor can see the evidence very clearly. And I help them with the relevant evidence and fulfill the criteria. So the assessor can just say, yes, they fulfill the criteria and then they make a decision quite quickly. I've got loads of clients, WhatsApp, Sony, LinkedIn, startups, CTOs, CEOs, UX designers, graduates, digital marketers, cybersecurity experts, product managers and marketers and biz dev. I've helped, solution architects. I've helped a lot of people. And this is why I love to do what I do, because everyone has a different experience and background. Even if they have the same job titles, their experience is all different. So this is why I love it. And just a quick disclaimer, I only help with stage 1 endorsements. I'm not affiliated with the Home Office or TechNation, other than I'm now an alumni of TechNation. So over the years, I was featured in a lot of magazines and articles. I've contributed to the tech sector, and this is what they're looking for as well. So this is, stuff that I've done before I was endorsed, and I continued to do this after I was endorsed. It gave me the confidence to go out and, talk to people, spread the word, promote myself and promote my startup as well. And these are some of the places that I've been featured in. I was also a judge at an IoT hackathon as well. So, it's just great experience to be involved. And, you have to immerse yourself and volunteer and be active. And that's the one thing that I really do encourage you to do. And this is my blog. You can have a read of it on my website as well. And some of these are my successful recipients. I've helped a lot more, but a lot of people are quite shy to tell their story. But here are some of the people that I've helped over the years. I've got people from US, Egypt, Ukraine, Mexico, China, Nigeria, South Africa, Brazil. So I help a lot of people from different countries. And then people know each other. So some of these people know each other and they refer their friends to me. So it's been an amazing journey, and also I love to sort of increase my network and meet some amazing entrepreneurs and tech employees as well. So quickly, what is the Global Talent Visa? It used to be called the Exceptional Talent Visa, and that's what I got. But essentially, it's not changed. The criteria is the same. The purpose is the same. It's now called the Global Talent Visa. It was introduced to allow highly skilled tech entrepreneurs and talent the ability to apply for the right to live and work in the UK for up to 5 years. It's a two-stage process. So you have to be endorsed by Tech Nation first, and that's what I help with. And then once you're endorsed, you can then apply for your visa, and that's stage 2. I don't help with that stage, but once you're endorsed and you don't have any immigration issues, you should be able to get the stage 2 visa quite quickly. You'll see that when I go through briefly the criteria, it is more than a job application. And if you search hashtag #TechNation Visa, you will find out more about the Global Talent Visa in digital technologies, because there's the Global Talent Visa for other sectors as well, like arts, fashion, architecture, science, engineering, but Tech Nation are the endorsing body for the digital tech sector. So the benefits is, you get the freedom and flexibility to live and work in the UK for up to 5 years. There's a route to settlement, so you can apply for your indefinite leave to remain and British citizenship. You can bring your dependents with you. You can register a UK limited company. You can also work for a tech company without the need for a company sponsorship. So I help a lot of people who are on existing visas with their employers, and then they want to switch over to the Global Talent Visa, and they can still work for their companies, but it just allows them to maybe start their own side hustle or do other things which their employment or their visa doesn't allow them to do. It's also attached to you, so you can quit your job and work for another tech company without worrying about if they're going to sponsor you as well. So I did this. I was obviously a tech entrepreneur, but I took a break, worked for someone, worked for a university, then worked for an accelerator, came back to my startup. So it was so easy, because I said, look, I've got my visa. I don't need to ask you to sponsor me or anything. It's also quite cost effective. I know some people may say it's not, but I've had 3 visas over the years, and I feel like this one is the most cost effective. The only thing that's expensive is the immigration health surcharge fee, but everyone has to pay that. But essentially, the endorsement stage and the visa stage fee, that's quite cheap, in that it's in the hundreds, not in the thousands. So the real benefits I feel like I received after I got my visa, and after a lot of people have said the same thing, it gives you credibility, because Tech Nation have endorsed you with exceptional talent or exceptional promise, which means that they think that you're a leader or emerging leader in the tech sector. So that gives you credibility. It also gives you confidence that, you do deserve to be in the UK, and that, an endorsing body like Tech Nation has vouched for you. You can also go for promotions as well. This is a big one. A lot of my clients have got the confidence and credibility to ask for promotions within their companies. I know that Katie from LinkedIn, she's got 2 promotions since she got the visa. So yeah, don't be afraid to look for promotions as well within your company. And it also gives you the ability to negotiate. If you've got your own visa, you can negotiate your salary, or you have the confidence to do that. Whereas a lot of people who feel like the company is sponsoring them already, they don't feel like they can negotiate, because they're already providing them with a visa. Whereas you've got your own visa, you can say, look, I don't have to work for you. I've got my own visa. You can give me more money. It gives you opportunities as well. As I said, you can work anywhere you want to. You can start a side hustle. So yeah, it just allows you lots of freedom. You're also a role model. I know that, people from Vietnam and from Australia, they come to me and ask me to help them, because they see that, I'm from the same country, and, more likely that, I can help them, and I understand where they're coming from as well. So you kind of become an accidental role model to people who also want this visa in your own countries. And it also offers you security. I felt very insecure. I felt that my business was at risk on an entrepreneur's visa, because it had an expiry date, and it didn't give me a route to settlement. And especially, looking for investments and things, investors look at founders and whether or not they have the ability to live and work in the UK long term. So because this visa gives you a route to settlement, it gives you security. It also gives you, personal security. You can buy a property, you can do, whatever you want, knowing that you don't have to worry about a visa expiring anymore. So just quickly, some of the stats, there are unlimited endorsements now. It used to be capped. When I was applying, there was only like 200 per year that could get the endorsement. Now, if you apply and you meet the criteria, you can potentially be endorsed. The stats from different countries, USA, India, Nigeria, Canada, Russia, that's just a majority of applicants coming from those countries, but there's 90 plus countries where people are coming from, but that's the stats are saying that more people from these countries are applying. There's a 54% endorsement rate, which means that 1 in 2 are successful, which isn't a lot. And this is why I help people with the endorsement so that they can increase their rate. And that's why my endorsement or my success rate is 80%. So I give you a stronger application so that you can apply and hopefully be endorsed. Now, over the years, there's only been 1,800 successful recipients, and that was because there was a cap for a few years. But hopefully now that there's no cap, there will be more people that will be endorsed and who get the visa. So you can apply for talent or promise. So if you're more than 5 years, you apply for talent. If you're less than 5 years, you apply for promise, and that's experience. And what TechNation have seen is that down here, the 68% of people have applied for talent and 32% for promise. So more people who are talent apply for that. There's a 75-25 male-female ratio, but I do hope that increases because I am a strong advocate for women in tech. It's quite interesting because the success rate for men is 50%, and the success rate for women who apply is 60%. So women who apply have a higher chance of success. This is the stats that I found out, but there are less women who are applying. So if you are a woman, please do have a look at this quite clearly and closely. And if you are a man in tech, please do encourage your female friends or colleagues to have a look at these. I know the criteria looks scary, but really when you look at it closely, it isn't. It's so long as you meet it, and obviously I can help. And once you are endorsed, you can join the TechNation Visa Alumni, which I'm a part of. We hold events and meet each other regularly and things like that. So that's quite good. So as you can see, over the years, applications have increased. These are applications, not endorsements. So endorsements, as you can see, is 54%. So there have been about 3,500 applicants over the years from 90 plus countries. These stats are from April to April. So far there's been, just under probably 100 applications so far this year since April or May, I think it is. But during COVID, people were still applying. I was very busy during COVID. Decisions were coming back a lot quicker because everyone was working from home, and even the assessors as well. So they were coming back, the decisions were coming back a lot quicker as well. So these are just some of the stats. This is in the TechNation website. You can see by country, these are the success rates. So Nigeria has a 30% success rate. I have a lot of clients now coming to me from Nigeria, and again, my success rate is 80%. So I've just received one that from Nigeria who's just received his endorsement. So yeah, that's really exciting. So and then in China, it's an 86% success rate. However, with China, though, not as many people have applied, but those who have applied have been endorsed. So this one's an anomaly, whereas in the US, there's loads of people who apply from the US, and there is a higher chance of people in the US that receive their endorsements as well. And then these are the types of skills. So it's business and technical skills, but you can see, yes, technical people obviously are being endorsed more, like software engineers, but then people with business skills like biz dev, they're also being endorsed. It's not far. So it doesn't matter if you've got a technical or business skill, so long as you fit within the criteria. So there's a process here. There's, as you know, that there's a stage 1, which is the endorsement stage. Stage 2 is the Home Office visa application stage once you are endorsed. However, in the first stage, it's 2 steps. The first step is you've got to pay and register £456 at the Home Office. And once you've paid and registered, you've got 15 working days to then upload your documents onto the TechNation portal. So it's all online now. When I applied, I had to send it by post, and I had to print off all my documents. It was like about 50 pages, and hopefully they received it. So I had to register post and make sure they received it. So it was quite stressful. But now it's all online, so it's very easy. And then TechNation have 8 weeks to look at your application and come back with a decision. But as I said, during COVID, it's been quite quick. It's, up to about 3 to 4 weeks they've come back. As I said, some of my clients have come back at, 3 hours to 24 hours. So they are a lot quicker now. Then they tell you if you're successful or unsuccessful. If you're successful, you'll get a letter to say you've been endorsed, and that's when you go to the Home Office visa application stage. That's stage 2. You pay £152, which isn't too bad. You've got to do your biometrics and then pay for the immigration health surcharge, which is $624 per year. So if you've got a 5-year visa, it's 624 times 5. So you have to budget for that. You have to pay that upfront. And then they give you a decision and your visa in 3 to 8 weeks. If you are unsuccessful, you can appeal the decision, and we will discuss this with Yanting's interview. You've got 28 calendar days to appeal, and then they have 28 calendar days to come back to you with a decision. And what happens is it goes to a different assessor, and they will assess your appeal and the original assessor's feedback. You cannot submit new evidence. You can only reiterate what you've already submitted, and you have to point the new assessor to the old assessor's mistake. So there has to be a mistake in the decision, not that you don't like the decision. And that's quite tricky. So this is why it's important to reiterate what you've already produced. And, sometimes assessors do make mistakes. It's 45 pages that they're looking at. If your documents aren't structured, and all the relevance not there, the assessor's not going to be able to follow what's in your application. And this is what I help my clients mostly with, is structure, making sure that anything that is important stands out, and, making sure that everything is there in front of them. But, they do make mistakes. So then the new assessor will say, yes, we agree with the original assessor, so you aren't endorsed. So then you have to make a decision whether or not to use that feedback and resubmit your application. Or the assessor might say, yes, we don't agree with the original assessor. You are endorsed, you are successful, you can apply for your visa. And that's a brilliant result. That does happen when I help applicants as well, when I feel like they should appeal. So that's the exciting thing. Very stressful, which is why it's important to do it right from the beginning, rather than coming back with unsuccessful decision and you have to answer the feedback, extra stress, time, worry. So there's no cost to appeal, but the cost is time and stress. So that's something you have to manage. So the eligibility requirements, as I said, there's technical and business skills here on the left. So if you fall within that, that's great. If you don't, this is not an exhaustive list. You can pick the one that's closest to you. The tech sector moves so quickly, new roles are being added. So it's up to you to tell the assessor which one is yours, the closest to. And then there are some specialisms that are not considered suitable, and these are usually the outsourcers. This is the question I get most, is people who work for consultancies or outsourcers. So people who work for companies that build products for their customers to then sell. So that is considered being an outsourcer or consultant. So this is the one that has been a lot of questions being asked as well. Okay. And then this then goes down to the new definition from the 1st of December guidelines. They've now defined what a product-led digital technology company is, and it's businesses that actually develop products for themselves to then sell to their customers. And it's their primary revenue source. They're building a technical service, product, platform, or hardware, and it's central to their business model is developing products. That's what TechNation want, is people working for companies that develop products. Okay. And then these are the documents. You need to provide 15 documents, of which includes your CV, your personal statement, 3 letters of recommendation by experts. So that's 5 documents. And then you need to produce 10 extra documents to fulfill the mandatory and optional criteria which you choose. So it does look like a job application, but these criteria goes one step further. And a lot of my clients have likened it to being like a PhD of your career, because you have to really sit down and reflect on all the projects that you've worked on and really think about, how are you going to show your projects and convince the assessor that you show innovation and impact to the projects that you've worked on. So you can apply as an exceptional talent candidate or exceptional promise. So if you've got more than 5 years, it's talent. If you've got less than 5 years, it's promise. Please be very vigilant and make sure that you select the right category, because I've had clients that select the wrong category and then the assessor has assessed them under the other category. So just be careful of that. You have to select the leadership criteria. You have to show that you are a leader if you're a talent, or potential leader if you are a promise. Then you get to choose 2 out of 4 options. You can show that you have innovation, so 3 examples of innovation or products that you've built or been involved with. You can show that you've done some proof of recognition for work outside of your immediate occupation that advances the digital tech sector. So these are things like volunteer work that you've done in the tech sector, which is why I said you've got to put in as much as you can to get a lot out of a tech sector. You also can show that you've made any significant contributions to the tech sector, and you have to show impact. So these have to be measured. So if you've built a product, obviously the impact is you've introduced a new product to market, or you've generated X amount of revenue for the company. That's impact. And you need to provide 3 examples of that. And then if you are doing a bit of research and you've got, some affiliations with universities, you can show examples of any academic contributions in the form of published journals or reports that you've written and have been published. So you need 3 examples of that. So this is why 10 documents is really important, and you need to provide 3 examples for each. So 3 examples of leadership, and then choose 2 out of 4 and show 3 examples of those. That brings it up to 9 examples. And then the 10th example is one that you're strongest in. So 4, 3, and 3 examples. Okay, hope that makes sense. On Mondays, I do discovery calls. So I give 15-minute free discovery calls if you've got any questions, and you can book that in through my website. I think I'm fully booked next Monday, so there's openings the following Monday. So have a look at that and I can have a chat to you. You can also download my ebook as well. That's on my website, and that gives you a bit more information. I've got loads of resources on my website. I've done this for the last 5 years. I've been through the process myself, so I pretty much can do this in my sleep. Because I've lived, breathed, and obviously done this and been in the process, so I can help you. These are some of the common questions. I don't know if you can see because I've got my thing here. A lot of people do ask these questions in the discovery calls, and I can definitely help. So how do I present my documents? What is relevant information? Who can be my experts? Am I innovative enough? Am I exceptional? Am I good enough? I don't know what to say, and I've received an unsuccessful result. What should I do? Should I appeal? And it really depends on your situation. Obviously, as I say, everyone's different, so I'm definitely happy to go through your background and talk to you about all these questions that you have. These are very common questions. I had the same, but I had no one to help me at that time, so please do reach out and speak to me. So quickly, my 5 top tips is please start early. I only had 3 months left of my entrepreneur's visa, and I was very close to having to leave the country. So please do start early. 6 to 12 months ahead is probably doable. You have to also budget, again, cost your time, because this does take a bit of time. You have to plan as well. The planning is really important, and you have to implement. You have to, obviously gather all the 15 pieces of evidence. Then you have to submit, and then you may have to appeal if you've got an unsuccessful decision. So this is why six months at the very least, or 12 months if you want to give yourself a lot of time. So it's very important to start early. Also have your application checked before submission. And I do this for a lot of clients. I pretend to be an assessor, because it's always good to have someone who knows the criteria, who can then make sure you fulfill it by just giving your full application, and I can see where the gaps are. If you have someone who doesn't know the criteria or anything, check it. They're going to only check for grammar. But I obviously check for grammar, but I also check that you fulfill the criteria. Because once you submit, and if you are unsuccessful, you cannot submit fresh evidence. So I will catch all that. Your network is your net worth. This process involves you asking people to support you and confirm and validate your impact, your leadership skills, who you are as a person. So please do reach out to your network, anyone in the last sort of 5-10 years of you working, even if it's not within your network. It could be, you know, you could work on finding the right people. And I've had that. That's why people start early, so they can start looking for appropriate experts and mentors. This process about self-promotion, throughout your application, you have to say the word I. A lot of people, you know, obviously work in teams, and it's natural to say we did this and we did that, whereas this application is your application. So you have to really say I did this and I did that, because assessors have come back to say we don't know what work the applicant did, because they didn't actually specify what that they did it. So that's why you have to use the word I and not we. And also prepare to put in the hard work. As I said, this is a big process, 15 pieces of evidence. It took me 3 months. It usually takes my clients and we work on it for 8 weeks, because the bigger the reward, which is living and working in the UK, the bigger the investment required by you. So you have to put in the time. I know this is in addition to working on your startup, working in your full-time job. This is, as I said, it's like a PhD of your career. And I have a lot of clients that say, oh my gosh, I didn't realize how much work it was. And this is why you need to start early, plan, prepare. And I have had some clients who take like 1 day off during the week just to help, you know, with the time to do this, because you need time to reflect and to do it properly, because you want to relax on the weekends as well. You don't want to just work on this as well. Okay. So those are my 5 top tips. So I would like to now introduce Yanting. I hope that was enough of a background for you, and we can get started with Yanting's interview. Hello, I'm going to stop my share. I'm going to share my screen. Hello, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Well, thank you. And thank you so much for coming
to
the webinar. And you're a recent successful recipient. And Yanting is the founder of Talent Trending. It's a tech startup. And please do share your background and story with everyone.
Yes. So I moved to the UK, I think, for study back in like 2013. And then I studied for like investment banking and finance, nothing related to tech initially. And then I got this tech startup idea to start a platform helping people to, you know, identify their career passions by trying out different projects. That is what Talent Trending is. And in 2016, I got endorsement from the university. I got the graduate entrepreneur visa back then. And then, and then I founded Talent Trending, which is now what I'm working on full time.
That's amazing. And so you were on a graduate entrepreneur's visa. Did you move on to the entrepreneur's visa as well?
Yes, I did.
You did. Yeah.
So it was 2 years maximum with a graduate entrepreneur visa. I think now it's called the startup visa.
Startup visa, yeah.
Startup visa. That is 2 years. And that 2 years does not count into your leave to remain. And that is so in 2018 I had to apply for the general entrepreneur visa, which is more limitation and more cost, because it's 3 years and you cannot have any income source from outside of your business. So when I was invited by universities to be like guest lecturers or do other like companies project, they could not add me onto their PAYE. So just like, so I always wanted to do global talent visa.
Yeah. That's interesting, because I had the same problem, because I was on the entrepreneur's visa and I wanted to work somewhere else, but they even part-time, and they said no, your visa doesn't allow you to do that. So so that's why you ended up applying for the global talent visa. So with the what were the benefits that you saw for the global talent visa, other than obviously route to settlement? You couldn't work for other people. Your business, I feel like was your business at risk as well? Because you only have a 3-year limitation for your entrepreneur's visa.
Yes. So for the 3 years entrepreneur visa, and also like I started a tech startup and building a platform, a software, a service that is not like, like a product physical, you can immediately sell and stuff. So it need like testing, adjustment, and then launch the market beta testing. And so it's a lot of like, so the general entrepreneur visa would require like 50 grand to 20 grand investment for over the 3 years, right? For you to be able to extend, as well as you need 2 full-time employees. That is not any employees, that can just UK citizens. So if you like think, oh, I found an amazing developer in Australia or like in Canada or US, that doesn't count into your visa. So it's like you need to invest a lot more, and there's opportunity cost obviously as well when you invest according to the extension rules. And then for me, it was like the pandemic also happened, so it was like 2019, finally we got our first like paid contract, yes, and then 2020, it's like all down. We need to pivot again. And and I was like, okay, so what what to do now? I already invested over the amount that is allowing me to extend my visa, but I did not like recruit like 2 full-time employees, and also during the pandemic it's very difficult. And I know, I know you can kind of like just like write a letter to the the what UK border agency, UKBA,
the Home Office,
say, because of pandemic I couldn't recruit that 2 full-time employees, and I'll get an extension, but still it's like with that visa extension it does not allow me to get any more income source, which I do need. I feel like it just like, when your startup is like in a pivot moment, you're like, oh, I need to invest more, but also I need to get more in. So I'm like, I need to have the maximum flexibility in my career, and there are people like giving me job offers, but it's just like that they won't allow you to start your own business, then you stick with one employer, and that's just like not ideal. So I was like, global talent, that's
global talent. So that's interesting. So just going back, just to clarify, the entrepreneur's visa and the graduate entrepreneur's visa is no longer in existence. It's now being replaced by the startup visa and the innovator's visa. So if you wanted to check that out, please do check that out. So, okay, so you found the global talent visa, but then what were your challenges and hesitations with the global talent visa?
Yeah. So first of all, it's like, I'm not familiar with the global talent, and it used to be called, when I first know about it, it's called exceptional talent visa. And how exceptional is it? It's like, and I searched for like legal services, solicitors, for like support or like consultation to let so I can learn more about this visa. But like they charge crazy. They charge like probably like 3,500 to like 6,000 and 7,000 sometimes. It's just like if you include both two stages of the application, and your visa application fee needs to be on top of that. So add together probably it's like 10 grand, just right, for you to complete whole process with us. So it's just like the budget, another thing, and the criterias, the long list of criterias, and then it's like it's like I'm going back to university. It's like I'm reading and trying to understand every single bit. It's quite overwhelming. It's like I don't know if any one of you listening knows Amazon e-commerce like seller platform. It's almost feel like that. You have to study everything from scratch. It's like a university. Yes, it's like overwhelming. And and then just like want to know like you know, like some criteria is like you need to have publications, you have this and that. I'm like, how so I'm like, just you know, do I have
how do you show?
everything?
Yeah,
Am I
yeah.
ready? Am I ready? So I'm like always thinking, maybe I should, you know, start prepare now. So I did ask for like letters, you know, and stuff like 3 months before I start the application, I think.
Okay, so you're 3 months. Okay.
Yeah.
And so I know it was it's hard process because you had to do it on your own. Who did you decide who your experts were? Because you need to have 3 experts
Yes.
from people.
Yeah, definitely. So the 3 experts, obviously, I selected people who knows about my work, who are familiar with, I have worked closely with, and who can give me like the maximum skill and talent endorsement, you know, in their recommendation letter. And so the first one, the first endorser, reference was from the manager of the incubator that I got the graduate entrepreneur visa endorsement from, because she's recognized like leader of the, you know, in the Birmingham area, managing the incubator, which is formed by 4 different universities, and all those. So it's like, and so she knows my work since the beginning, and also I have been making contribution to the student societies, and she's in the business incubator, but also connected with the university community. So she knows everything. And then I had worked with the UAE government, the head of digital innovation in UAE, and during the pandemic, through the platform, like the new beta testing the new functions, and he was like very engaging in the process. Like we did like UX UI testing, and I found him like great talents, and he's so satisfied, and he got me a letter as well, yeah, which endorsed my leadership and as well my contribution, as well as like the skills in UX UI and tech. And then I had a United Nations expert who I also have been worked with for over the past few years, and she knows me personally and my work, and we have worked together on United Nations projects and together, and she's now recognized like a United Nations expert in like digital innovation, etc. So it's like really good. So I have those 3 main experts. I also had other recommendation letters which I put into the supporting document.
Yeah, that's really good, because as I said, your network is your net worth, and you had already built a relationship with these people, and you used and you called upon them to help you with your application. If you hadn't met them, it would have been too hard for you to build that relationship in such a short period of time. So that was really good. Yes. And then the criteria. So obviously the new criteria has changed. So what criteria did you select? Obviously you had to choose the leadership criteria.
Yeah. So the leadership now is mandatory compared to before when it was exceptional talent. And then the innovation criteria and the proof of recognition criteria, those are the 3.
Yeah, so you did loads of volunteer work. You did so much for the community.
Yes.
And it's quite interesting, and we'll talk about this, but your proof of recognition documents could actually also double up as your leadership documents as well. But we'll talk about that in a sec, about your appeal. So you submitted on your own. When did you submit your initial application, and when did you receive a result?
So I submitted my first application, well, my only application, actually, on 24th of May this year. And then I got the results 2 weeks after the 24th of May. Yes, so it was 2 weeks. It was 2 weeks, yeah.
Wow. So see, so they have up to 8 weeks.
Yeah.
They looked at yours, and in 2 weeks they came back, but unfortunately it was an unsuccessful result. Okay, so let's talk about the appeal, because obviously you received an unsuccessful result in 2 weeks. a lot of emotions, as
Yeah.
I can understand. I remember when you reached out to me. What was your feeling? What did you think, if you could think? Because I know it's, when you read it, a lot of things go in your mind.
Yeah, it was like when I obviously they sent like two separate emails, or was it three? It was like, first it's like, we got a negative result here, and your feedback will be sent separately, right? And then I got the feedback later, and I was reading it, I was like, this is not making sense.
Right.
I'm
Confusion.
like,
Okay.
lots of confusion, and I was just like, I have submitted everything that that is meeting the criteria, but why it comes to, it's like, it's as if like you haven't seen it, as if you're looking at a different application. I'm like, what's going on here? I'm like, I don't know who to reach out to at that time, so I'd like literally Google searched. I was just like, yes, and I was so lucky I found you. Yes.
Yeah, I remember you did reach out to me and you were very confused, and I had a look at your application. So what what were the options that we considered when we, looked at your feedback? We have,
Yes.
28 calendar days to get back to them, but obviously planning is important. So what did we consider? All the options.
Yes, I think, well, gladly, it's like immediately the first day I searched on Google and I found you and I reached out. You came back to me immediately. I think it was like less than an hour. I got your yeah, and we had a brief call, and I think it makes me feel like it's just like,
I got you. I
you
got
know,
you. It's
yes, I'm
okay.
not alone in this. I'm not alone in this. And then it was so good. And what was it? So first thing is like, we book a time for you to review my entire application, and then based on your review, you will basically you advise me whether we want to appeal, or it's more likely need to be a new application submitted with fresh evidence. So and I think, yeah, we came back like, yeah, it's worth appealing, and appealing, even though even if the appeal was not unsuccessful, we get extra feedback to put together into our new application, which, we definitely have like full confidence. Yeah,
Yeah.
we will definitely win that one, but like, let's see the appeal, how it goes. And we won, and it was like amazing. It was so quick. It was like over the weekend, and then Monday you got me the letter, and it's like, read it, perfect, submit, and and 2 weeks
Well,
after, one, so easy.
you had a good chance. I think if you have even one or two opportunities to appeal, sometimes, assessors do make mistakes, but sometimes they don't. But I feel like there is an opportunity for you to appeal. We will appeal. Sometimes, if I felt that, look, let's just resubmit because I don't think we will win this.
Mhm.
It's quicker and easier just to resubmit. But because, you had a few grounds of appeal. So let's just talk about the appeal. What was the feedback?
So I think the feedback was like, first is like not meeting the leadership criteria, but I didn't meet like the proof of recognition criteria, and there were like, saying like, letters, your recommendations letters are enthusiastic, but it doesn't kind of like, make you meet the criteria. And as well as like, as a startup, I have not started like selling my products or services, but I did start, like, I have users, I have hundreds, thousands users, and I'll just like, we're on a testing stage, and we're like adjusting different like business models. And then so another thing is like, you haven't got revenue, and obviously the guideline did not mention you have to have revenue,
Yeah.
or you have to sell how many like products, or services, kind of like, and with digital tech startups, it can take time for you to test your product market fit and come back, readjust and go back. It's like, especially when it's software service based. So to get it right, to get your customer like as satisfied as possible, that is like, yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it was disheartening reading it because, you know, obviously when I reviewed it, I did feel that you did meet the criteria. And basically what we had to do was say, okay, regarding this criteria, this is where I showed leadership. And so we picked bits out of your application. Again, you reiterate where you showed leadership, quoted things. And also, yeah, you don't need to generate revenue. The guidelines don't say that you need to generate revenue for your startup, but you have progressed in your startup, and your experts, you know, and your customers and people, users, they mentioned that, you know, you were doing things. So overall, I know that you're very emotional, but I took that emotion out, drafted your appeal for you, let you have a nice weekend.
yeah, in Lake District, I was on a retreat. So
yeah,
good.
you had a nice nature retreat. I drafted it in over the weekend for you.
Yes.
And you submitted. So when you submitted, I think you submitted on the Sunday. When did you receive the result?
I think exactly. I think it was about 2 weeks again. It was like, it says like 28 days for them to, right, what all was in, but like it was again 2 weeks time. And during the first week, I did get your email saying, you know, I can go up on the application platform and check when the last time someone viewed my application, to make sure, you know, just getting an extra comfort. It's just like an extra blanket. Yes, we're looking at you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
it was really good tip. Yeah.
Yeah, it is very good tip, especially because, you know, when you submit and you get this, you know, email to say you've submitted or on your application, and then you're like, has anyone looked at my application? How do I know?
Yeah.
So there's a little thing in the application portal where you can hit the preview button and you can see the last person that logged on. It could be you, but if it wasn't you, it could be someone else. So that's when you kind of know that someone's looking at your application.
Yes.
The wait is real. Like I didn't have any. You remember I said I only just my application. We didn't do it online, so we had no idea.
Yeah.
So you're lucky that you can kind of check under the preview section. So
yes,
thankfully, when you emailed me, you got the successful result.
Yes. I was like, oh, hallelujah. Yes, finally.
Yeah,
I know I deserved it in your face.
in your face.
No,
yeah,
kidding,
you did deserve it. You definitely deserved it, but it was a stress.
Yeah, it was definitely a lot of mental stress because, you know, I was buying, in the process buying my first property. I was like doing my business, and but at the same time, you gotta know, like, you know, think about like future of the business, which is like my visa expires, like current visa expires September. What should I do? Like, you know, so it's like lots of like just uncertainty back then, but like it's like, yeah. Yes.
Oh, that's really good. I'm so glad I was able to help you in the second part, the appeal part. I wish I was able to help you in the first part to alleviate the stress, but, you know, obviously I understand budget and you didn't know about me then. That's absolutely fine. So now that you've gone through that process, luckily you didn't have to go through the resubmission. What advice would you give to others now that you've come out the other side?
Yeah, come out the other side. Yes. I feel like definitely this visa is like, if you think, you know, have a read of the criteria, if you think you have a chance, have the potential, just go with it. I feel like it's definitely like the best, you know, one of the best visa you can apply for your, you know, your status in the UK, as well as like get the full professional freedom. It's like freedom so important. You can do anything you want. You can work with any company you want. You can run your side hustles, and, you know, mix or match. Just your call. So I feel like it's definitely yeah, worth you know, exploring. See if you meet, you know, if something you can do and apply. And then I think it's that the process is obviously about selling yourself. It's about selling yourself. It's about your self-confidence. It's about like, believe you are good enough and believe in your work, your achievement, and your impact, and as well future impact for this country. And I know, like, I came from an Asian background. It's like, you have to be humble, tone down, just like be humble. But this is, the chance, the time, you need to get on the stage, not be shy, not be like, just like, yes, I'm so good and I deserve this kind of thing. And just like hit them with all each like evidence on the criteria. Done. Yeah. Yes, and network, definitely, you mentioned, very, very important. Networks, I love that. And yes, and yes, and if you happen to experience also like stage one initially unsuccessful decision, it doesn't mean you don't, it's the end. You can still appeal, you can resubmit with fresh evidence. And I think it's worse to appeal because first it costs nothing, and if you have enough time, don't worry about it. It's like just get extra feedback, so like you have two assessors a feedback to help you to resubmit for a better application. And definitely like, if you know Michelle, if you know Michelle, just talk to her. It's like, yeah, it's amazing. It's basically I feel like so honored and also so lucky to know you, to work with you, because it's just made the process so much easier. And I was able to do meditation in the mountains, in the farms, just like, when because I know, like, you basically, because offered so much insights and expertise, with this whole visa process from different perspective, not only the applicant perspective, but also like the assessor's perspective, and then the vaccinations perspective, and I know you got legal experience as well, so it's like, also it's like, oh, whole package. Yes. Yes,
thank you. That's really good advice. I really like all your advice, and you've come out the other end. I saw you during such an emotional stage, but you still held it together, and you were still persistent. I think the entrepreneur in you still was able to fight to the end, and I'm so glad I was part of that journey with you. Now, what are your exciting plans before I open the floor for questions?
Yeah, well, I feel like now I got the endorsement, getting the visa, just like freedom to plan, go wild with my dream, my career. Just like the world is my vegetarian oyster. And yeah, total freedom, and I'll be able to apply to leave to remain in 2023, because it will be my 10th year. And yeah, and moving to Manchester, explore.
That's amazing. Yeah, so indefinite leave to remain is just around the corner for you.
Yes, just around the corner. Literally next Monday, I'm submitting to the what Her Majesty's whatever visa passport center.
Yes. Oh, that's brilliant. I'm so proud of you. That's an amazing journey, and I completely understand, because I've been through that process. Just getting that endorsement letter is like, that was the biggest. Yeah. Oh, that's brilliant. And your plans, the world is your oyster, or vegetarian oyster.
Yes.
Yeah, it's one of those things that you don't realize, that British people are so lucky to not even have to go through this whole process, but we do.
It's like different visa are just like, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do this, you can't do that, and to have the best possible visa, to have the maximum, you have to really invest a lot, in your network, your work, everything to do this. Yes.
But the amazing thing is, look at all the experience you've got. I know, like, the visa, you've got, emerging leadership qualities and potential, all these things. I know that you need it for the visa, but but you've got it for your own professional development, like you said. So the person that really benefits at the end of the day is you. Like,
Yes,
it's your own. No one can take that away from you.
Yeah.
So that's amazing. Right, we don't have much time left. I'm sorry we went over, but does anyone have any questions? You can put it in the chat. You can put it in the Q&A. We've got a number of people who are here, and I can see. I can see some familiar names. So please do ask any questions that you may have to us on either in the chat box or the Q&A, or feedback just to say this was great or not. I hope it was insightful, because, you know, there's only so much I can say, but I do like to interview, you know, all my successful clients, and also, you know, alumni as well, who've gone through this process to help you as much as you can. Because as I said, when I applied in 2016, I didn't have anyone to help me, because no one actually had gone through that process. So Chinadu has asked what endorsement. So Yanting, what endorsement did you get?
We got the Global Talent Exceptional Promise. Yes.
Yeah. I think Yanting was just on the cusp, so she was right on the kind of 5-year mark, so it was promise. But if you're obviously over 5 years, you've got to go under talent, unfortunately. So I hope that helps, Chinadu. Any other questions? I hope that's interesting. No one's got any questions. I hope we did you know, give you enough information. As I said, you can book in for a free discovery call, not this Monday coming because I'm fully booked, but the following Monday I'm free. Have a look at all my resources, free resources online. I do have different packages of support, so please have a look at my website. I've got loads of different packages to suit all budgets. And my most popular package is my bespoke one-to-one coaching. I help you from start to finish and try to take away that stress, because it's going to be a stressful process. You know, you just have to embrace that, but I help make it easier for you. But yeah, please do contact me. But otherwise, have a great day, everyone. Email me at techvisa@michellehewer.co.uk, and I'll send out a newsletter tomorrow to give you this recording and more information. So I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you so much, Yanting.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're very welcome. Thank you so much for sharing your story. Really appreciate it. Okay, bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.